Have you ever heard this quote? The black community has $1.7 trillion in black buying power. What if I told you that's not true? And there's an entire book about this. It's called The Myth and Propaganda of Black Buying Power, Media, Race, and Economics by Dr. Jared Ball. According to Dr. Ball's research, this data is based on flawed analysis that does not account for the real economic experiences of African Americans. It comes from Nielsen, which is a company that provides research and data based on surveys. And this data is then used by members of the black press and marketers in order to get corporations to spend ad dollars with them. But on the flip side, this data is weaponized against black communities as a tool for making it seem like we are responsible for our own economic injustices and inequality that we face. Because we have all this economic power, why don't we own anything? Why don't we have more? What are we wasting our money on? However, consumerism is not an indicator of individual wealth and or collective wealth for the black community. The so-called black spending power does not account for the black tax that black communities face. It doesn't account for the fact that consumerism and higher costs could actually be an indicator of predatory companies and corporations. We are often paying higher in price, not because we are economically empowered, but because we're being systemically economically disempowered. The so-called black spending power also doesn't account for consumer debt. So even if we try to pull all of that so-called $1.7 trillion in money together, it actually would not equal that amount. But I can already hear people in the comment section saying, but we spend money, we buy Jordans, we buy hair weaves. And even if we were to stop buying any of the items that come from your internalized anti-black trope, it would not make us more economically sound than we are now. Because we have faced historically systemic structural economic barriers, which has led to us having income inequality and inequitable access to wealth and a limited access to assets. And again, consumer spending is not the same as economic empowerment. In fact, some of the higher spending is actually an indicator of our economic vulnerability and the predatory markets that prey on our communities. So please check out this book. And also, if you want to learn more about the myth of the circulating black dollar, I recently found out that the Black Myths Pod did an episode on this. Also check that out.